talk about manipulation today. It's something that I find myself talking to my coaching clients about regularly, and I think it is something really, really valuable that we talk about and that you know how to best leverage. So manipulation actually is Latin from the word manipulus, which means handful. So it is essentially, the original definition is the skillful handling of objects, which then later expanded to people. It's actually a skill that everyone should have. It's an art, essentially. It is something that you can leverage to your benefit, and it just gets a bad rap, much like money. Money is an object that we all use, and it motivates us in a number of ways on a daily basis. Money isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's some of the motivations behind money and the motives behind it that end up being and resulting in negative and horrible outcomes. Same thing with manipulation. So is it being used for evil or is it being used for good? So today I just want to talk a little bit about manipulation, or for lack of better terms, if you want to call it persuasion, if that makes you feel better. But I kind of like manipulation and sticking to the original of what it actually is. So number one, there's two ways that you can use manipulation. So I would say, and this is probably something that you do already on a daily basis, of like, honey, you wash the dishes better than I do kind of thing, or whether it's in a business situation and you're going to be using it to get ahead, or in a way skillfully tell your boss that you deserve the promotion that you're going for. So it's just being thoughtful about your conversations and thinking about who you're talking to and what the outcome is that you want of it. So two ways. The first one is how to leverage manipulation to get others to want to do what you want them to do, which is a completely different thing from people just doing what you want them to do. Sure, you can pay people to do that, but having people align behind a common goal and do what you want them to do with a smile on their faces because they know that they're going to be getting something beneficial out of it too, or it's something that's contributing to the greater good. That's where you want to be. And you can use manipulation to get there. And number two is also to be able to call BS or get behind someone else's manipulation theory. So essentially how to tell when you are in turn being manipulated. And if it is for motives that are not so great, or if it's for something that you feel like you can get behind. So there's a few steps that you can do. I know that I just told you how you can use it. I'm not going to leave you hanging. This is like how you can actually use it. This is like putting it into action. So first of all, before you have any conversation with anybody, think about that conversation and think about what your motives are. What is your motive in your goals? What are you trying to achieve? And just check in with yourself, and check in with yourself in terms of the conversation that you're about to have. Know and have a goal. So have a goal in mind with each conversation that you have, and be aware of what their goal or goals are, because it's going to help better structure your conversation and better to make sure that you can achieve what you want out of the conversation. And then know the influences around their goals. So whether their goal is work-life integration and you're trying to talk to your recruiter and you're trying to talk to a rock star candidate that you know that you want, and immediately on the conversation you kind of already know that it's going to turn into a sales call, you want to hit on those points that you're going to find that they're going to find important to them, so that you make sure you're selling at the same time that you're qualifying. And so that these next conversations are just easier for you to close this candidate. And I know that this is a sales principle, but it's essentially a business life principle. And then finally, know the person that you're talking to. Is this somebody who likes things handled in a very direct manner? Do they want things short and sweet? Are they very analytical? Do they want more details? Are they very people-oriented? Try to think about the person that you're talking to and literally map it out on paper. So this is like my little tool that I'm going to leave you with. Do a conversation web and think about who it is that you're talking to. Have a goal that you want out of the conversation. Identify what their goals are in a web and what the influences are around that. So I made a couple so that I can show you. If you want them, leave me a comment and I will totally scan these into my handy dandy Genius Scan and send them over to you. I haven't done it yet, but I totally will. So for example, this is, when I'm talking to a coaching client, I would map out the things that I know that they find important to them and then the surrounding influences around each one of those goals, which helps me to better know what their motives are and also what their goals are. And then just because I felt like this was more relatable, I went ahead and did one for a recruiter. So if you're trying to find that rock star candidate, think about the things that they might find important to them, which then will help you to touch on things that will help you sell the role and sell the company and the culture that you're ultimately trying to recruit for. So I hope that helped, and if it did, let me know. I will send these along if you want them. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Sending you so much love. Have a great day.